The most common sales objection that you hear, especially when you're cold calling, is when that prospect says, "Just send me your information." When you hear this, you may not actually see it as a sales objection, but it is. This is a very popular tactic for prospects because not only is it an effective way to get rid of the salesperson, but they can also do it without looking mean or feeling bad. Most experienced sales reps would describe this objection as the stall or the blow-off. The stall is when prospects don't want to engage you or want to avoid making a decision. Here's the list of common stall responses. "We're not interested right now. Could you email me something?" "We'll show it to my regional manager. I need to talk to my boss." "Let's see how John's customer blows him off."
All right, just email me and I'll look at the information later.
Salespeople have 3 common approaches to the stall, and occasionally 4. The first one is to create a desire to talk. The second one is to drive a sense of urgency. The third is to make sure that "I need to talk to my boss" is not really a blow-off. And sometimes you need to add a little humor. It's important to find out what's holding the prospect back and creating that lack of interest. Here's an example of an email that could be used to garner more information. "I'd be happy to email you information. I have a 64-page file that I can email to you, but do you mind if I ask you a couple of quick questions so I can only send that part that you'd be most interested in?" Creating a sense of urgency is a tactic for jump-starting interest. Here are 2 responses to the stall that focus on establishing a sense of urgency and making that prospect feel like they're missing an opportunity. The first mechanism for handling this is as follows. "Believe me, I'm with you. But the good news is that in taking 30 seconds with me, you could change the way you do business." Then what you want to do is fill in with the customer's business problem. It might be an issue with marketing spend, target marketing, or creating customer-specific offers. And then the sales rep should proceed with, "In fact, let me share briefly with you how we've helped other companies just like yours." Here's another example of how somebody has created a sense of urgency. "That's no problem. I have other clients that have told me the same thing when I called them. In fact, I can put you in touch with XYZ client. But the point is, if you're like most people I speak with, you're having trouble with identify some areas where you have a specific offer, and in a couple of minutes I can share with you the solutions to those problems that my other clients are leveraging right now." A prospect may really need to get approval from others in the organization to initiate a purchase. While getting approvals is a common practice, this could be a blow-off in disguise. Here are 2 options for establishing that there's not an underlying issue with the solution and that it is really not a blow-off. One way of responding is the following. "Of course I understand. We talked about your decision process. Let me ask you this, is getting their approval the only thing holding us back from doing business together?" If the response is yes, what you want to be able to do is set up a timetable to actually make sure that that individual gets back to you. And you might say, "Well, will you have time to talk to them before we speak at 2:30 tomorrow afternoon?" Great. Then because you're on board with this, I'll go ahead and prepare the paperwork. That's one technique. The other is, "Thanks for that. Now, based on what you know about this and based on the fact that you'd like to see us work together, what do you seriously think it's going to take to get this approved?" So a couple of options to keep that sales process moving forward. And then, of course, there's always the concept of humor to get the customer engaged. When that client says, "Why don't you send me information?" you can say, "I'm happy to send you a package of information. It's going to be about 6'1", with a bald head and a goatee, and should show up at your office Friday at 2 o'clock. Will you be there to sign for it?" The point with this one is to get them to laugh, because if you can get someone laughing, your chances of connecting with them and getting a meeting set up go up exponentially. Let's see how our sales rep, John, turns the blow-off objection around.
All right, just email me and I'll look at the information later.
"I understand that you're busy and may want to review our information at a later time. By taking a few minutes with me now, that could change the way you do business. It could help you reduce your overall marketing spending and do a better job at targeting your customers for specific offers and improve your overall marketing ROI. In fact, let me share briefly with you how we've helped other companies just like yours. Hey, that's no problem. I have other clients who told me the same thing when I first called them, Chris. In fact, I can put you in touch with ABC Marketing, an organization that's similar to yours. But the point of this is, if you're like most people I speak with, you're having trouble reducing overall postage costs. In a couple minutes, I can share with you the solutions to those problems that my other clients are leveraging right now.
When the customer tells you, I'm not interested, or I don't want to give you my time and attention, I'm not interested or I'm not ready right now, is simply the most convenient way for the person on the other end of the line to get rid of you. They don't want to be rude, you don't want to be rejected, and you both know it. The unspoken agreement is reached between the two of you. There are options. In John's case, he tried to create a desire to talk in option 1. And in the second example, he tried to create a sense of urgency by highlighting immediate cost savings for the customer. I've had many calls where a prospect tried to get rid of me by asking for more information and to email it to them, and using these simple engagement strategies has moved the sales forward.